The mayor's declaration of martial law painted Detroit in a stark, violent hue. He deemed the city the most dangerous in America, a chilling announcement that further escalated tensions. The city was bracing itself for the isolation of brick mansions, a low-income housing project from the rest of the city, a move that sparked fierce protests. Amidst the chaos, the mayor unveiled an ambitious redevelopment plan for brick mansions, promising a gleaming future built upon the demolition of the existing housing. This bold vision, however, came at a steep cost. The displacement of countless residents. One man refuses to let brick mansions fall further into chaos. Lino, an expert in parkour and hand-to-hand combat, takes it upon himself to clean up the neighborhood in his way. He steals shipments of drugs from Tremaine's operations and destroys them, believing that cutting off the supply was the only way to weaken the crime syndicate. However, his actions make him a marked man, and Tremaine's enforcers, led by his ruthless Lieutenant K2, were sent to hunt him down. They track Lino to his apartment, leading to a high-speed chase across rooftops, stairwells, and alleyways. Using his incredible agility, Lino manages to outmaneuver them, but Tremaine was not done with him yet. Knowing him cannot easily catch Lino, he decides to strike where it hurts most: his ex-girlfriend, Lola. Tremaine's men abduct her, holding her hostage to draw Lino out. On the other side of the city, Damien, an undercover detective, was on a personal mission of his own. His father, a decorated police officer, was killed inside brick mansions years ago during a failed drug raid. Damien has spent years tracking Tremaine, believing him to be responsible for his father's death. His chance for revenge finally comes when a government transport was hijacked and a neutron bomb was stolen. The military-grade device, capable of wiping out large city sections, ends up in Tremaine's hands. The bomb was armed and the timer was set. Detroit has less than 10 hours before it detonates. The mayor and top officials call Damien in for a dangerous mission: infiltrate brick mansions, locate the bomb, and disarm it before it's too late. With brick mansions being heavily fortified, Damien must team up with someone who knows the terrain. The government offers him an unlikely partner, Lino. Lino, eager to save Lola and settle his score with Tremaine, agrees to the mission, but he and Damien did not trust each other. As they enter brick mansions by crashing through a barricade in a stolen van, Lino quickly figures out Damien's true identity. Realizing he was working with a cop, Lino attacks Damien, leading to a brutal fight between the two. However, with time running out and enemies closing in, they reluctantly agree to a truce and move forward with their mission. They finally reach Tremaine's stronghold, where Damien tries to negotiate for the bomb's deactivation. However, Tremaine reveals that he has no intention of surrendering the device. Instead, he plans to auction it off, treating the destruction of Detroit as a business opportunity. He demanded $30 million in exchange for sparing the city. Lino, focused on rescuing Lola, demands proof that she was still alive. Tremaine orders his enforcer Reza to show her, but what Lino sees enrages him. Lola was bound and tortured for amusement. Tremaine locks them in a room while he waits for his payment, believing he has won. Inside their cell, Lino and Damien realize they have been set up. Damien reveals that the government never planned on paying Tremaine. The demand for money was just a stall tactic. Damien comes to another realization: Tremaine did not kill his father. He was betrayed by his police unit, who shot him in the back and left him for dead outside Tremaine's headquarters to cover up their corruption. The revelation changes everything, and Damien and Lino agree to work together. They break out of their confinement and fight their way back to the missile. At the same time, Tremaine realizes he has been played as well. His bank accounts were emptied, and the promised money never arrives. Enraged, he decides to fire the missile out of revenge. Lino and Damien reach the scene in time, taking down Tremaine's men in a final battle. During the struggle, Damien manages to shoot and turn off the missile's launch mechanism, preventing it from being fired. At the last moment, Damien finally receives the deactivation code from his government contact. However, he immediately becomes suspicious. The code was 48216, which is the zip code for brick mansions. Realizing the setup, he refuses to enter it. Lino, trusting his instinct, stops him just in time. As they let the timer run out, nothing happens. The bomb was never real. The entire mission was a setup from the beginning. Furious, Lino, Damien, and even Tremaine turned their attention to the real enemy, the corrupt government officials behind the plan. They stormed the mayor's office, forcing him to confess on camera. The footage was broadcast to the public, exposing the conspiracy. The mayor was arrested, and Brick Mansions was saved from destruction. The city was forced to tear down the wall, reintegrating Brick Mansions into Detroit and promising resources